Hey there, happy Wednesday, and I'm coming to you from in front of our beautiful wall of herbs. These herbs and botanicals here at the Magical Druid store are available for not only magical use, but some therapeutic uses as well. Folk healing and folk magic often involves botanical and herbal substances. And I wanted to tell you about a talk I did a couple of years ago at OSU's medical school. I was able to go in and speak to a room full of future doctors about my experience in working with people who are dealing with things like chronic pain or just everyday maladies and things that they struggle with, but they don't necessarily want to or have the ability to get to a doctor about them. And I remember feeling very much like there was an opportunity there to really speak to these future doctors who are the seeds of the medical field going forward. And I wish I had said more. So today, I'd like to say the things that I wish I had said to those doctors after that talk. After I talked about things like the use of echinacea, garlic, and ginkgo in health management, we mentioned the fact that a lot of people can't get to a doctor when they need to. In the United States right now, our medical field is encumbered by a lot of different factors. There are bureaucratic factors that make it very difficult to get an appointment when you need one. There are financial factors that make it unattainable financially for some people, and the insurance industry being very much empowered to either approve or not approve treatments at their discretion, opposing the discretion of doctors. All of these things I find very problematic, and I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in that point of view. So here's what I would have loved to have said to those young aspiring doctors who are still in school. Please stand up for your industry and for the Hippocratic oath that you take, for the pursuit of healing. You got into medicine because you wanted to help people, because you wanted to support their well-being and their energy and their vitality and their ability to manage pain when it happens and injuries when they happen. And you're going to be up against so many barriers and blockades. One of the reasons why I see more of the people in pain than you do a lot of the time is because they don't have to make an appointment to walk in the door of a health food store or an herb and remedy store or a magical store. They can just walk right in and have a conversation with somebody and tell us what's going on with them. Now, we are not medical practitioners, and so we cannot prescribe. You can. And so you and I, you're doctors and I'm a witch, and we are seeing people and being encumbered by each of our constraints, each of our sets of constraints. So for you, from my experience working with people and talking to people about the things that keep them from living their lives unencumbered by pain and malady, stand up for your industry, stand up against the bureaucracies that keep people from being able to have a conversation with you and seek your counsel and your advice and your healing power. I mean, you are gaining power right now in your medical education. You're putting yourselves in a very influential role in this culture. So just because an insurance company gets to tell you what you can and cannot do, it doesn't have to stay that way. You, as a culture of medical professionals, can push back against those constraints and make it more accessible for a person to actually get medical care when they need it. Same thing with the bureaucracy. The same thing with the financial constraints that keep people from being able to access medical care when they need it. I love talking to people about herbs, don't get me wrong. I love talking to people about folk remedies and, rubbing a potato on a wart and burying it under the full moon to get, there's all kinds of great, rich folklore and magic. And yeah, some really effective treatments, but people need to see doctors. And you're the doctors that they are trying like heck to see. So clear the path for them. Stand up against the constraints that they're facing and the constraints that you're facing in your ability to treat them. You're an entire culture, you're an entire industry, and you don't have to just say, oh, well, I can't because of bureaucracy or because of the insurance or because you don't have the money. You can stand up against that. If physicians, it's Doctors Without Borders. If Doctors Without Borders can do what they do, then you can find a way around the financial constraints and still be able to pay your bills. This is not impossible. There are many, many industries that allow for easier accessibility to essential resources. And the young doctors who are about ready to graduate this year, as spring is springing and you're about to cross the virtual stage to receive your PhD and your MD, you are now at the forefront of the medical industry. Please take that seriously and please take a stand for your industry and for the people who need you. Thanks.